All right, good morning, everybody. This morning we are going to be graphing lines. That are not in slope-intercept form. Now, just a quick reminder here that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So what I want you to notice is that if I draw my line through the equal sign, the y in this equation has to be all alone on the first side of the equation, and then everything else shows up over here on this other side. Now this is the form that we've been using a lot because it makes graphing easy. The m in this equation is the slope, which we know is the rise over run. And then the b in this equation is the y-intercept, which tells us where the line crosses the y-axis. Now, if I were to ask you to graph y equals 1/2 x plus 3, the first thing I should do is ask myself, is it y equals mx plus b? So the very first thing I should do is ask myself, is this line y equals mx plus b? So if I draw my line through the equal sign, I see the y over here by itself, just like it is right here. And then I see 1/2 x plus 3, so mx plus b. So the answer this time is yes, it is y equals mx plus b. So if it is, then the next thing I'm going to do is identify the m and the b in this equation. So the m is the number in front of x, so that would be 1/2. And the b is this number out here at the end, so that would be a positive 3. Now, when I go to graph, remember that I begin with b. So I'm going to graph b first. So let me get us some graph paper up here. Let's use this. And I will need to draw x-axis and a y-axis. Now, I'm going to begin with b. So what this tells me is my line is going to cross the y-axis at positive 3. So I'm going to put my pencil here at the origin, and because that b is a positive 3, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 on the y-axis, and that's where I'm going to put my first point. Now, the next thing I do is I graph m. And when I'm graphing m, I need to remember rise over run. So in this case, I am rising 1 and running 2. And because that's a positive 1, I'm going to go up 1. And because that's positive 2, I'm going to go right 2. So coming over here to my y-intercept, I'm going to go up 1 space and right 2 spaces. Up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2. So I want you to do that several times, and then also fill in this other side. Now to fill in this other side, we do the opposite of what we were doing. So we were going up and right. We're going to switch now and go down 1 and left 2. And remember, you'll know if you're doing this right because your points should line up and make this nice, pretty straight line. So there is the graph for y equals 1/2 x plus 3. So this is kind of the process we need to go through every time. Is it y equals mx plus b? Is that y all alone? And in this case, it was. We identify what the m and the b are. We begin the graph with b, and then we graph the m by rising and running. All right, so now let's try this. We are going to this time graph 2x minus 3y equals 6. So first, is it y equals mx plus b? I'm going to go ahead and draw my line through my equal sign. And then up here above this, I'm going to write y equals mx plus b. So is the y all alone like it needs to be? And the answer is no. So when the equation is not y equals mx plus b, you are going to have to fix it. And to fix it, what you need to do is get the y in that equation all alone. So this y that I'm seeing right here has got to be all alone. Now here's how we're going to do that. The first thing we're going to do is go to the term that doesn't have a y, which is this 2x. And we're either going to add 2x or subtract 2x to cancel that out. Now it's a positive 2x. So to cancel it out, I need to do the opposite and do minus 2x. So I'll do that on both sides. So I went to the term that doesn't have a y, and I added or subtracted in order to cancel it out. 2x minus 2x, of course, is 0. Those cancel out. So now I have negative 3y on this side. And over here, I'm going to arrange this in my mx plus b order. So the x term needs to go first. So I'm going to put negative 2x first, and then my positive 6 second. So here's where I am. I have negative 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Now notice the y is still not alone. I got to get rid of that negative 3. Negative 3y means negative 3 times y. So now I am going to divide everything by negative 3. So now I have y equals. That's what I wanted. I wanted that y to be alone. Now we'll divide these fractions out over here. Negative 2 divided by negative 3 is going to be a positive 2/3 x. And then positive 6 divided by negative 3 is going to be a negative 2. So now my equation is in that y equals mx plus b form that I love, and I can actually graph it. So let's identify m and b. The m is 2/3, and the b in this equation is that negative 2. Let's get some graph paper up here. All right. X-axis, Y-axis. All right, we are going to begin with B, and we're going to put B on the Y-axis. So notice B is a negative 2, so starting from the origin, if I want to go to negative 2, I would go down 2 on the Y-axis, and there's my first point. Now I'm going to use my m. It's 2 over 3, so rise 2, run 3. So rise 2 means go up 2. Run 3 means go right 3. So starting from here, we'll go up 2 and right 3. Up 2 and right 3. And now to fill in the other side, we'll do the exact opposite and go down 2 and left 3. Do that a couple of times. And then notice I have this nice pretty straight line, so I'll draw my line and put arrows on both ends. So on this problem, the thing that made it different than that first one is that when I looked at my equation and I asked, is it y equals mx plus b, the answer was no, because this y wasn't all alone. So I have to fix it first, get that y all alone, before I can actually graph it. Okay. Let's graph. Let's see. Let's do 2x. Let's do negative 2x minus y is equal to 4. Negative 2x minus y is equal to 4. Now, the first thing we're going to do here is ask ourselves, is this equation y equals mx plus b? Is the y all alone? And you can clearly see that it's not. So we're going to have to fix this. Now I'm going to go ahead right here in front of this y and put that invisible negative 1. And now I'm going to turn this thing into a y equals mx plus b equation. So here's my term that contains my y. I want that y to be alone. So I come over here to the term that doesn't have y, negative 2x, and I'm going to add or subtract to cancel out this negative 2x. Because he is negative, I will do the opposite and add 2x to cancel him out. What I do on one side, I have to do on the other. So these two will cancel each other out. Notice that means that I am bringing down a negative 1y. And then on this side, 4 plus 2x, I want to arrange so it's mx plus b. So x goes first, the plane number goes second. So I'm going to put this positive 2x first and the positive 4 second so that it looks like that mx plus b form that I'm after. Now, I'm still not done because y isn't alone. I have to cancel out this negative 1. This means negative 1 times y, so this is multiplying that I'm looking at here. So I'm going to divide by negative 1 on everything. And that's going to give me the y equals that I wanted. Now y is alone. 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2, so I have negative 2x. Positive 4 divided by negative 1 is negative 4. So here is my y equals mx plus b equation. Now in this equation, the m is negative 2. I need that to be a fraction, so I'm going to force it to be a fraction by putting a 1 underneath it. And then my b is a negative 4. And the reason I need that m to be a fraction is I need rise over run. I need both numbers. All right, so let's get some graph paper. And we will begin with b, which goes on the y-axis. So I'm going to start at 0, and my b is negative 4, so I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, because he's negative, and put my first stop. Now I am going to use my slope and rise over run. This time, notice the rise is a negative 2, so that means I'm going to have to go down 2. My run is a positive 1, so I'll go to the right 1. So starting from here, I'm going to go down 2, right 1. Now fill in the other side, do the opposite. We'll go up 2 and left 1. Up 2, left 1. Up 2, left 1. Up 2, left 1. Up 2, left 1. All right, that ought to be enough. And again, I know that I probably did this right because I see that nice, pretty straight line. So notice the process is the same every time. Is it y equals mx plus b? If it's yes, move on. If it's not, we fix it. We write down what our m and our b are. We begin the graph with b on the y-axis, and then we rise over run. So it's the same process every single time. All right, we're going to do one last one. Let's do x minus 2y is equal to 0. X minus 2y is equal to 0. Now, we've done enough of these now that you know what my first step is going to be. Is this y equals mx plus b? is the y alone? And the answer is no. Oh, here's my y, and there's a bunch of stuff over here with him. Okay, I'm going to take this x and make it 1x, because I'm going to have to fix this one. I'm going to have to make it y equals mx plus b. So to get y alone, first come over here and let's get rid of this positive 1x. Now because it's a positive 1x, to cancel it out, I'm going to do the opposite and subtract 1x. So these will cancel out. So now I bring down negative 2y. And then I want mx plus b, so I'm going to put x first, so I see negative 1x there. And then there's a plus 0 that I could put here. Y is still not alone. To cancel out this negative 2, we will divide by negative 2. And just so we're clear, the reason we're dividing is because negative 2y means negative 2 times y. When I need to cancel something out, I do the opposite of what it is currently doing. So now I get y equals negative 1 divided by negative 2 is a positive 1/2 x, and 0 divided by negative 2 is 0. So in this equation, my m is 1/2 and my b is 0. Graph paper. All right, so we begin with b. We put that on the y-axis, so we go to the origin, and since b is 0, that's where we put our dot. And now we're going to take our slope and rise over run. So rise positive 1 means go up 1, rise positive 2 means go right 2. So we're going to go up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2. Step up 1, right 2. And then on the other side do the opposite. So step down 1, left 2. Down 1, left 2. Down 1, left 2. And then we'll draw our line. So on all of these problems, first check to see if it is y equals mx plus b. If it is, that's great. We can move on. If not, we fix it. We get y by itself. Then you need to identify what your m and your b are. Begin the graph with b by putting it on the y-axis, and then rise over run with your slope. If you have any questions about anything that was said in this video, please email those questions to me, and we will work out a time to talk. Your assignment is in today's folder. Good luck.